everybody, and welcome back to another 31 Days of Indie Horror. I'm your host, Jonathan Moody, and I'm here with my special guest today, Ana Xaden. How are you doing, Anna?
Hello, I'm good. How are you?
Good. This is the fourth season, and in the first three seasons, I had you do the first three Ginger Dead movies. Or
Yeah.
wait, not Ginger Dead.
Ginger snaps.
Ginger Snaps.
Yes.
Ginger Dead Man's a whole nother thing. But the
I've
Ginger
never
Snap
heard
movies.
that.
It's got Gary Busey as a killer cookie, so
Oh, I can see that.
yeah. So could
I
he?
can
He
see
got
the
really
cookie with the
excited.
smile coming at me.
Well, it was a cookie. It was a ginger cookie, and it was the voice of him, and it was whatever. It's a really
Oh,
funny
that's
movie. But
hilarious.
that's not this,
Yeah.
or anything. Ginger Snaps was werewolf movie, so I thought, what better to do than a movie called Werewolf Island? It's got a big werewolf on the front cover. It's got a castle, I guess, in the background, and yeah, this is not the movie that we watched, you know, right? Like this is the movie you watched.
No.
There was none of this thing.
None of that.
No. What we
Nope.
really watched was a movie called The Legend of Dog Lady Island, I believe, was the original
Yes.
title. And it got changed over to Werewolf Island, I guess, to get more people interested in it or something. But it was it it, for a first time filmmaker's movie, it wasn't terrible.
Yeah.
For but it could have been so much better. And I really wish they kept it, even just calling it Dog Lady Island, that still
Yeah.
sounds kind of cool.
Mhm.
And that's what the urban legend is. Like,
Mhm.
what did you think when you saw there was no werewolf in this movie?
I was very disappointed. I still am.
Still am.
But
I
they also kept calling the lady a witch. I'm like, why not the witch of the island? So,
Which island? I
but
mean,
yeah, exactly. That'd be cool.
yeah, I wouldn't mind something. We're giving them ideas for titles that they're not gonna make any sense for.
Oh my
We're gonna call
goodness.
this
Yeah.
movie Which Island? There is no island, but there was an island. It's an island. I mean, it is, but it isn't. It's a small island, little teeny tiny
Yeah.
thing inside. I think it wasn't Michigan. I think Michigan. So this takes place in look, where was that? Uh, okay, because I have it like brought up here. So
Ah,
Dog Lady Island. It said if you ever had pleasure of growing up in the floral city, Monroe, Michigan, it is more than likely you've come across the legend of Dog Lady Island. Like many legends, there are numerous versions, given that it has been passed down for many generations. It is inevitable that the legend will be slightly altered. So, just like this movie had almost every legend in it together, like mixed, um, which wasn't my favorite thing about it
yeah.
because if you do your research and you find out more about this stuff, you'll be really disappointed because like there's some cool stuff they could have done that they kept not doing it because they just did a bunch of different things. They kind of put a
Mhm.
whole bunch of different ideas, like a melting pot of ideas in here. But the so yeah, so the idea is like a lot of teenagers do actually go to that island and they will just go there to have sex and fool around and whatnot, and supposedly some have seen this lady, that dog lady person, and um it's kind of like Sasquatch or the Jersey Devil, just dog lady. Like this is just a a thing that people see, and then they try to make it work, but they have like four or five different stories. So it's like, are they trying to tell us that like nobody really knows the true thing, or is this like all of the same stories mixed into one? And I don't like that if it is.
Yeah.
I want one specific secular story because then we know we're not so confused. Like
Yeah.
I
And
felt
I was
very,
confused through a lot of it.
I was too. Um, I didn't I understood it, but I was still confused. You know what I mean? Like, did that
Yeah.
make any sense? So I don't know. I liked it enough to say like I get it for a first time feature film. You're gonna learn from a lot of mistakes.
Hmm.
And to have your first feature film put on Tubi is fucking cool. So,
Yeah, true.
like not everybody gets that chance to get distributed. I mean, some movies they don't even get distributed because they're just so bad. This
Yeah.
wasn't bad. It's just, I mean, it wasn't awful. It had bad moments to it. Some of the acting was pretty not good, but uh, but most of the time it was pretty good. So, how can you describe the plot of this movie? Can you do that for us?
Well, pretty much two people end up on the island or whatever it was. And I don't even know how to put it into words. It's like they end up on the island and then they get chased off the island pretty much. Or after they saw the dog face or the dog lady
The dog
and
face
all the
lady, yeah.
makeup and stuff. Yeah, with all the makeup and stuff on. And it just wraps around this lady with makeup on. And it was like, I guess, kind of tribal makeup, but not really. But yeah, um, I don't know what else to say about it. It's like I was just disappointed because the title, and then you're thinking you're going to see a werewolf at some point, but there were no wolves, nothing.
No, and I mean it was a dog lady because she was just sort of, I guess she acted sort of like a dog,
Yeah,
but not really. I mean,
no. If she
I
was a dog, she was a mellow dog.
I know, and it, like I just and it was supposed to be sort of like, I guess because some people were murdered and the murdered people become the dog lady, I guess is the idea
Yeah,
or whatever.
yeah,
And then there was some stuff like it was very confusing with the family history and the people involved. Like for a long time I didn't realize, like I was like, why is that, old, that man that he was a biker guy, but like
yeah.
why was he, like what does he have to do with any of this, and then you
Hmm.
find out what happens, that he was, a big part. And then uh there's that other guy that sort of like lives, I guess, on the island and stuff.
Uh-huh.
And then he he kept telling people, get off my land, blah blah blah. But like he had nothing to do with the um I mean, he had no real, other than maybe if he was like an executive producer and this was like a perk for him to be in the movie, he had nothing really to do with the movie much. Like
Yeah,
if you took him out, it wouldn't have made any difference, in my opinion.
yeah,
And that was kind of a bummer. Um, there's just so many cool stuff they could have done with it that they just sort of chose to go with all these different time periods. So you
yeah,
have like the Native Americans, sorry. Um, Still to this day, I'm used to saying the I word, when I should say Native Americans. The Native American stuff, then you've got like the Civil War stuff or whatever, I guess, the 1800s or
yeah,
whatever. And you get like the 1900 stuff, and then you've got now, you know. And
yeah,
so they sort of tried so hard to show all these different time periods and other things to explain everything, but then I'm
yeah,
still very confused, you know, like, and all of them seem the same. It's like a bunch of people. Yeah, it was like three, and I don't know if that was the point, but there was like three different generations of people doing the exact same thing. It was like,
yeah,
I'm gonna go to this house, I'm gonna attack these people, I'm gonna kill the wife, and then I guess the dog lady comes.
yeah.
I'm like, what? why and it's the same house, it's the same stuff. I'm like, is this house cursed? Is this like Amityville? Is this
Yeah, right. I mean,
Amityville
I could
Werewolf
see it if it
Island?
was like a ghost movie, but there were no ghosts.
Well, the
I
dog
don't know.
lady
The
is
witch,
supposed to be a ghost, I
yeah,
guess.
she's a ghost, but like it's kind of like the deal with the house being the same. It's like they're ghosts reliving it over and over.
But it's different ghosts. So it's a different
Yeah,
dog lady each time.
yep.
And I'm just
Well,
like,
like I don't know, like what I figured was going on was there was I mean, I know it's not this, but there was a ghost that jumped into the body of the killer and just started killing. And that same ghost, I guess, possesses somebody.
but no, but then the ghost actually comes at one point, and you can
Oh
actually
yeah.
see the ghost attack. So like
Yeah.
it doesn't none of it really makes sense because like if it were a demon or a spirit or whatever that possessed somebody, that could be cool.
Yeah.
But they don't really do that. Because like in the beginning you see the dog lady, you know,
Uh-huh.
and so she's attacking the two people who set the whole thing up, and they go to the guy's uncle's house or whatever, and he turns out to be, I guess he was uncle or whatever, and he turns out to be the uh what is it, the sergeant or detective, who's
Mhm.
investigating, and then he turns out to be the whole thing, the whole reason
Yeah.
all of this is, all this, and was he not even real? Like at the end, like, because it seemed like they were trying to say like he's been living this life, living on this place and everything. I'm like, then how can people like have interaction? How was he even an uncle to this
Yeah.
other guy? Like this doesn't none of this
It
makes
left a lot of questions throughout the whole thing.
it's like one big fucking question. And I'm just like, I don't I get that they're trying to do something cool and different.
Yeah.
Problem is with doing something cool and different, you have to make it make sense. And
Yeah.
when you
I
have,
think in a way it was kind of rushed just to the plotting of it.
yeah, maybe that's the problem. I don't know. If there was a script to it, I bet things got changed on on the fly. And to
Yeah,
me,
probably.
that's a big problem.
Yeah.
Um, you know,
I've worked on films like that and I'm like, that wasn't my line. Oh yeah, we changed it 15 minutes ago. What?
right. And that doesn't make
So
any sense. And that happens a lot in indie film because
yeah.
people are always rewriting the script all the way up to the shooting. Like in Hollywood, people aren't really allowed to do that because um they're not allowed to do that like they do it in indie films because they have like the WGA protecting them. So
Yeah.
they can't give you, and SAG too. If you're a SAG actor, I believe there are rules of like you can't give the person like ages, to do, you know what I mean? They have to have some ample time to remember it and everything.
Mm.
Because that's protection for the actor because the actor looks like a complete idiot if things get changed and they're like, oh, that's what I'm supposed to say. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. You ever seen speeches where the people look uh like things got changed on them all of a sudden and they're reading
Yeah.
it going, I don't remember, like I have to
Yeah.
memorize
It's
that.
like a whole phase shift.
Yeah, and that's sort of, I feel like that happens in indie film too. And the problem is they have to like cover it up and make it look like, people know what the fuck they're doing when most
Yeah.
of the time they don't. And that's the problem with this movie, I feel like a lot of times is like you're just you're so confused as to what's going on when it should be apparent, like it should be easy to understand. Okay, that person, you know that happened with that person. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It shouldn't be that hard. But
Mm-mm.
man, it is ugh, it's frustrating. Um, but I enjoyed it to an extent of like this would be something to like show people what not to do sort of thing. And so it'd be
Yeah.
fun to show people sort of, like I bet if a lot of friends got together and they like got high or drunk or something and they wanted to watch a movie, this movie might be fun for them. especially considering they watch a movie and they think, "Oh, werewolf. When's that werewolf?"
Yeah. And then they're like all the way through the movie, did anybody see the werewolf?
Yeah. Anybody
So
see the werewolf or that one? Did I miss the werewolf?
it's like, I
Um,
think I spoke too much.
I think I did I black out and you know wake up no werewolf.
Oh my
Miss the
God.
werewolf. Um, I like that. The biker stuff. Like, I mean, I'm just like, why would these bikers be just hanging out there? And then when a cop tells them, the guy, I think it was a cop, or the person who owned the person who owned it walks up,
Yeah.
says, "You need to get off my property." They just, I mean, it just seemed so unrealistic at times, and I don't know. I didn't buy a lot of this stuff.
Yeah. Because I don't know bikers who would literally take their bike out there.
No,
Oh, yeah.
no, they wouldn't. It,
No.
it was ridiculous. And then at the end, like I said, the ending is probably the worst thing because you find out like it's all because of that person and stuff, and he is the key to everything, I guess, or whatever, and all this other stuff. And then the ghosts are trying to the ghost ladies are trying to get their vengeance, so they need to
Yeah.
kill off the one last guy or whatever, and all this other crap. And I'm just like, I don't know, maybe it's because I've seen this story but told better in a lot of other movies that I'm just
Yeah.
not impressed by it. It's like my least favorite movies so far I had to watch for these things. And I've only watched three, so I can't. It's the third episode,
Yeah.
so I can't. Maybe there will be something even worse. And God, I hope there is because I don't want this to be it. Um,
I'm
you know, um,
sure something worse will come out soon.
or is already out on Tubi. I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out. I mean, there's this guy named BC14 that makes these awful movies, and I bet his movies are, yeah, they're worse than this, at least. I'm gonna look up some stuff real quick.
Okay.
Werewolf Island. So we're gonna talk about the people real quick.
Okay.
So TJ Storm played the Indian chief Strong Wolf. Um, and he's actually done some stuff. So he's been in 111 movies. So
Wow.
yeah, he's probably the biggest name, I guess, in this whole thing. Usually playing Native Americans, and whatnot. And he's done a lot of voiceover, looks like voiceover work, or yeah, some voiceover work for video games and stuff. Uh,
Cool.
yeah. He was in a movie called Betrayed. Um, yeah, so I kind of feel bad because like, you know, remember back in the day when they would have an Native American actor in the movie, but it wouldn't, or TV show or whatever, and they wouldn't talk about it really. That person
Mhm.
just happened to be Native American. It just was just what they were.
Yeah.
Like remember the show Hey Dude?
Yeah.
Sometimes they brought up his native stuff, but most of the time he was just a kid, you know?
Yeah.
And I don't even think that dude, I don't even know if he was Native American or not. But
I don't know because I've after being in Mexico for a while, Native Americans and some Mexicans look just alike.
yeah. And his name was
Like my
Danny
ex-husband, he
Torres.
looked just like he was Native American or Hawaiian.
Well, the guy was named Danny Torres, I remember. And I
Oh
always thought Torres
yeah,
sounds very Hispanic.
that
So
is Spanish.
yeah. So I think they just said, okay, this guy looks. But anyway,
Yeah,
point was like they didn't really make that a big part of his character. It just
no,
was what it was. But a lot of
yeah,
times Native American actors get sort of typecast as like, okay, well, we need a chief Indian character. Let's cast this Native American or that, you know
yeah,
what I mean? And I kind of feel bad these days. Like I feel like Native Americans should be like, I mean, I'm not all diverse or whatever you would call woke, kind of crap. But I would say that I think that diversity should, at least if it's going to be used, shouldn't be brought to the forefront, right? So
Yeah.
it shouldn't be like, okay, let's use this guy and then just exploit his heritage, you know? I think if he's going to be the leader of a movie, it should just be about him being like, say he becomes the next Moon Knight. It's not about him being Moon Knight being Native American. It's just a guy who happens to be
Mhm.
Native American who's now Moon Knight. You know? That kind
Yeah.
so anyway, my point is like I get kind of tired of these characters and they're having to unfortunately play these sort of stereotypical kind of I'm the chief of this land and these
Mhm.
settlers are coming to take my land and blah 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 because it's just it's just overdone, you know?
Yeah.
I've seen this enough times where and once again, better where I'm just like I don't care anymore. Like
Yeah.
I don't want to see this. Like if this were part of the urban legend, which I bet it is, it's just not as appealing to me as like what's going on now with the urban legend. You don't even need you can just talk about this was an urban legend and then just
Yeah.
have a dog lady killing people, you
Yeah.
know? Right? Because like as those two people came on the island and they knew they weren't supposed to go there, how many
Mhm.
people go on that island and they know they're not supposed to be there? Like you can make a whole movie like that. You don't need
Yeah.
twists and turns and trying to make the urban legend bigger than what it is,
Mhm.
like or whatever. So,
Yeah.
um
I want to go out there and see what I find.
are you gonna go to Dog Lady Island?
That'd be awesome. I want to go to Baby Doll Island too. That's
What?
creepy.
It's a baby doll island?
Oh yeah, lots of baby dolls all over this island, like
What?
hanging from the trees and everything.
That's
Creepy little baby
that
dolls that watch your boat everywhere you go. And that's the only way to get there is like well, last I heard, you had to get a private boat to take you in, but
that's
it's supposed to be
crazy.
like haunted by tons of stuff.
That sounds scary.
Oh yeah. Oh, you should just look it up and look at the picture of the baby dolls. They're creepy.
So the director writer of this is Michael James was Michael James Alexander. Michael James Alexander plays Detective Michael James. Um why did he do that? I, why did he call himself by his real name? Like in a way like that was just a little weird to me. Um like I don't know. Like I'm weird like that. I would not I wouldn't put my character as Detective Jonathan Moody because like or even Jonathan Alexander, which is my middle name.
Mhm.
I wouldn't do that because like it's just weird to me. I don't even like I have never ever put a character that wasn't already being played by me, I guess already, but a character named Jonathan.
Yeah.
I've never done that because I've always felt weird putting my own name in a movie, or whatever.
Yeah. I know some perks for Indiegogo people can buy their name in a movie, or you can name a character.
Yep. Rudy
I
Ledbetter.
saw that last year. Huh?
Rudy Ledbetter. He does that a lot.
Oh yeah, remember?
And
Yes.
and we have in Echo Lake, our universe that we have a Rudy Ledbetter. It's
Nice.
he's a deputy,
That's
who
cool.
sleeps on the job all the time. And the real Rudy Ledbetter is going to be playing an actual character in our movies.
Nice.
Yeah, so I like him. Um, so then you got the guy that played Lucky, the old man,
Hmm.
biker, the original biker, was played by Andrew Daw Collins, and he's been in some stuff like uh he was in a movie called Pitchfork. I own that. It's
Hmm.
he was in a movie called Christmas at the Holly Hotel, so I'm guessing it's like a Lifetime or Hallmark type movie. Um, there's a movie called Son of the Wolf, which is apparently a Jack London book turned
Hmm.
into a movie. And he was in a few other things, Tales of
Cool.
Tales and um so he's been in some stuff. How many movies has he been in? 35. So he's had a pretty good career. And
Cool.
Michael James Alexander has been in like he was an actor before he did this. Like this was his directorial debut. And look, I'm gonna tell Michael something right now if he is listening. And he's like, oh man, they are shitting on my movie, and I am so mad or whatever. Do not be mad. We're not shitting on your movie. We're saying that yes, there are flaws to the film. We don't necessarily like some of these things. I mean, it's hard to do, a feature length film. So if you're able to finish a feature length film at all, you have my props. My big thing is, this is your first film. Make sure you just do better the next time. There's a great line in the movie Ed Wood by with Johnny Depp,
Hmm.
and he's on the phone and he says, "Huh, worst movie you ever saw. Well, my next one will be better." You know? And that is funny because that's the enthusiasm you have to have as a filmmaker.
Yeah.
You can't say, "Oh, I made the worst movie," and then give up. You have to just keep doing more and more stuff, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
You
Practice makes perfect.
exactly. And your first film is not going to be the you know, hell, even Tarantino's first film was not Reservoir Dogs. People think it was, but his first film was a movie called My Best Friend's Birthday, and it was a learning experience, and basically that's what he used before he did Reservoir Dogs. Well,
Hmm.
he learned how to do a lot of shit just from that movie. Unfortunately, it never got fully finished and put out, but you know, um, he then made Reservoir Dogs after. So maybe the next movie this guy makes will be his Reservoir Dogs. Who knows?
Yeah.
You never know. Um, but yeah, the dude's been in a bunch of stuff, and he's produced a bunch of stuff too. I think this is his directorial debut. Yeah.
Ah.
So he's produced some stuff. And he continues, I think, to produce. He produced a movie called Beneath Us All. He's got a movie called Finding Nicole and Ash and Bone Part Two that he's producing, and he did a movie called Ash and Bone that he acted in.
Hmm.
That uh, I've heard of that movie, so kind
Hmm.
of yeah, Harley Wallen made it. So I want to check that out at some point. I think it's available on Tubi. So
Cool.
uh, anywho, let's see. Let me see the ladies. So Lily was played by Kara Joy Reid. She's been in some stuff. She was an accidental exorcist, which I think is the worst title ever because how can you be an accidental exorcist? I own it and I've never seen it because just like that just doesn't even make any sense. But happy to own I owned it because it was like $1 at the Dollar Tree.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, those are always fun. Um, Now John Wells played Young Lucky, and John Wells is a uh is a big indie actor. He's been doing stuff for a long time. In fact, I plan to work with him one day.
Nice.
I'm a big fan. So he was in Arena Wars and Bermuda Island and They See You and probably some we're gonna be doing on Tubi Tuesday. So we're
Nice.
Thursday, whatever we're calling it now.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah.
yeah, we changed the
Forgot
title.
about that.
Um, the other person I can think of was the I think it was the boss. Uh, it says Sammy. Is that his name? I thought he was a detective. Oh, wait. So it says Commander Devereaux. Is that who's that? Devereaux. Yeah, Commander. I think there's a few characters. I just don't know who necessarily they are in this.
Hmm.
Um, so anywho, um, yeah, man, there's some bad like there was some bad reviews of this movie, man. I mean, I don't think yeah, people were not happy with it, which sucks because
Yeah.
it should have been so much better had they just stuck to one storyline and one part of the urban legend. I think it would have been a lot better,
Yeah, exactly. I think so too.
but it didn't.
It's like, okay, the saying, don't run before you can walk. And it's like this person just started running towards the finish line.
Yeah. He was like, I don't
So
care
he
if my
just
legs.
like, oh, grab from this basket, let's throw it together, make a movie.
He's like, I don't care if my legs are broken. I'm gonna run.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're really just limping, after that. You're not even running. Um, so he was,
Calm.
yeah, he was, but he crossed the finish line. Like he finished a
That's
fucking
true.
movie. It's
That's very
just,
true.
sometimes, movies don't come out probably the way he was hoping it would.
Hmm.
I mean, there's some okay stuff in there, but I then there was just stuff that just didn't make any sense. I'm like, why did the uh boss not want him to go investigating the Werewolf Island, yet the Dog Lady Island? Yet at the end he was like, "Oh, I'll come help you." I'm like, aren't you upset that they just totally just disobeyed you? Why are you like, oh, I'll be there in a little bit and help you out? No, like this is
Yeah.
ridiculous. Oh, because they want him in the scene where, people start getting it, like it's just convenience. That's it. But I don't know. It was not. I wanted it to be so much better. And
Yeah.
I wanted to have a werewolf, so I guess I was completely wrong.
Yeah, I was all prepared for like ripping apart, being ripped from the top of like the island, thrown off to the water, and then sharks come and eat it.
Damn, you were really thinking of another movie.
That one should be made.
Yeah, well, they can't call it Werewolf Island now.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
and there's already been like, you know, um, Shark Islands, and stuff.
Oh yeah, there was a Shark Island.
Yeah, there's at least Amityville Island, yeah, Amityville Island. All
Yeah.
that stuff's so ridiculous, you know. But I swear and when I found out later that this was based on an urban legend and that it was took place on the actual island. They got to shoot on the actual island that
Nice.
this urban legend takes place on. I thought was pretty cool. I It just could have been so much better. I mean, it also if they just concentrated on like getting rid of a couple of those stories or something
Yeah.
and made it a little shorter, I think it would have been even better
Hmm.
of a movie because like it still didn't make any sense at the end of it. So if you just got rid of like I don't know, I mean some of the storylines with the different characters, like it just made me feel just tired, of this stuff. And so yeah, I think honestly, if you're a fan of urban legends and stuff and want to watch this movie because it's based on an urban legend in Michigan and I'd watch it, but I'd only recommend watching like half of it, or something because really that's all you need.
Yeah.
The movie kind of goes on and kind of overstays its welcome, I feel like. And how long is it? It's not even it's like an hour and 30 minutes or something, right? Like
Something like that, I
hour and
think.
26 minutes. It could
Hmm.
have literally could have shaved 16 minutes off. No, 16, yeah, 16 minutes off and it would have been okay. And that would have been an hour and 10 minutes. And
Yeah.
I think it would have been a better, tighter movie. I think there are parts that drag, Uh,
Yeah, definitely. That part got annoying too when it would start kind of just dragging and dragging, and then you notice your eyes are closing like mine
you're
did.
getting kind of tired, yeah. Because after a
Yeah,
while, you're just like, I mean, is anything gonna actually happen? And
exactly.
sometimes nothing happens till like close to the end of whatever the scene, and just goes on. And I didn't care. And then the one dude played like four different parts, you know? And I'm just like, what was there was there a point? Was that like his ancestor? Is that what it's supposed to be? Because it's never explained why the
Yeah.
dude played four different parts. Because I saw him at one point and I was like, oh. And then I saw him at another point. I'm like, wait, that looked like the guy from. And then again, oh my God, why is this guy back again as a different character? Like, it either felt like they couldn't find another actor to play those roles, so they just gave it to him,
Hmm.
or they were trying to say something like this guy was the ancestor, and that's why his each one he was playing like the crummy, kind of evil guy. But I'm like, he's playing the same guy, you know? Like it's just in a different time period, like he doesn't
See,
change
that's what I
up,
figured was he was an ancestor.
right? But it never explains that.
No, they should have gone into explaining that a little better than not. Well, they didn't explain any of it.
Mm, No. Nope, nope, nope. It just should have been so much better. But
Hmm.
it was a missed opportunity for a lot of stuff. And kind of
Yeah.
sad, you think that these guys could have done so much better, but they didn't.
Hopefully the next one will
Yeah.
be a bit better.
Once again, Michael, if you're listening, go make the next movie. Like,
Yeah, make it.
I'm not trying to tell you that you're like, I never tell anybody, even if I don't like their film, like, or whatever, I never tell them to just stop.
Yeah.
Somebody actually once said that to me about my writing, and I felt like not just like that was horrible, but like I felt like, you know, that doesn't that's not good because if you really truly have this in you, you'll make another movie. And um Kevin Williamson, the guy who made who wrote Scream, he
Hmm.
directed a movie called Teaching Mrs. Tingle. It was a box office bomb. Like it
Yeah.
bombed badly. Great
I
movie.
remember liking it.
I loved it. I
Yeah.
still think it's a fantastic flick.
Hmm.
But it did so bad that they just were like, yeah, I think it just soured him from wanting to
Hmm.
direct another movie. So he just concentrated on writing and producing. And I'm like, he should direct again. Like he's
Yeah.
so good. So I
Like
just,
I remember another werewolf movie called Cursed. Everybody was just like, "Oh, that's trash." I literally enjoyed every second of
I
it.
mean, how many times do you get to see a werewolf give the middle finger to
I
somebody?
know,
I
right?
mean, I felt like the middle finger to all werewolf movies. That was awesome.
Yeah.
You know, I
No,
loved
I
it.
had it for about 3 years before I finally watched it.
That
I
was a
don't know
Kevin,
why.
that was a Kevin Williamson written movie.
Really?
Yeah, and Wes Craven directed it. Same guy did Scream.
Oh,
So like,
yeah.
yeah, so the same team that brought Scream brought that movie, and it was supposed to do. I remember when I heard about it because I was working at a video store at the time, and I
Uh-huh.
was like, oh my God, Kevin Williamson! I heard Kevin Williamson is bringing back the werewolf genre, and this guy that I worked with, I can't remember his name, this blonde guy that I was really good friends with, but it's been so long because I haven't seen him since then. I go, Kim Williamson's, bringing back werewolf movies. Like, damn it, I wanted to be the one to bring back werewolf movies, or whatever. But he did it as like Scream, and you know what? That movie went through a lot of shit because they changed a lot of things, and there's actually two different cuts of that movie, and I wish I could see the other cut. Um,
Hmm.
the other version that had completely different actors, by the way.
Oh.
Yeah. So there's a whole other movie with a whole different actors in it, and I really want to see that. But this movie learning from, this Werewolf Island movie doesn't have a werewolf, does have an island. Should have taken things, and when this messed up, you know, they should have, they should have fixed certain things that they could have, but I mean they didn't, and they put it out, and somebody put it out, you know. So I mean, I forgot who it was. I don't know if it's Wild Eye or ITN or somebody
Hmm.
put this movie out, and great. I love that. But all in all, it wasn't that great of a movie, and it should have been a lot better.
Yep.
So with that being said, I guess that's about it. I mean, I I don't think we can do like a full hour on this movie because
Yeah.
there's not a lot that actually happens. And
Yeah.
so
Not
on
much at all.
31 days of indie horror, you are gonna have one couple days that are gonna have only like maybe a little over a half hour to 40 minutes of stuff. But sadly, this movie just didn't do what I had hoped, what you had hoped, what a lot of
Nope.
probably people at home had hoped. Um, I'd still recommend seeing it. Sort of just seeing it from, but going in knowing that there is no werewolves, that it's just Dog Lady Island. And that a lot of it's just not gonna make any sense. I would still
Yeah.
suggest seeing it if you haven't. If you've seen it, real quick, I do want to bring up like there's a couple reviews, and I like kind of looking at those sometimes. 'Cause
Hmm.
sometimes people have interesting things. Yeah, one person just said werewolf, like werewolf, werewolf. You know, I was watching this film on a site where it's called Werewolf Island, and halfway through the film, the young line from Frankenstein, Young Frankenstein, came to my mind. Werewolf. Like, ever seen Young Frankenstein?
Long time ago.
He says, the guy hears a wolf, right? And the guy
Hmm.
goes, werewolf. And the guy looks at it and goes, there, wolf.
I
Kind of funny.
haven't
Um,
seen that in so long.
I know it's classic. But yeah, it's so true that where's the wolf? Um, I always get sort of mad when a title says something and then just delivers the exact opposite, because
Yeah.
I feel like cheated. Um, it lied to us, you know. But
It really did.
we watched it all,
Yeah.
and we saw a dog lady. So yeah, I mean, should have been called Dog Lady Island.
I
And I bet
know. That probably already exists, though.
no, I don't think
Oh,
so.
no?
I don't think so.
Ah,
Unless it's like a documentary. Uh,
maybe.
yeah, so the original title is The Legend of Dog Lady Island, yeah. So
Hmm.
yeah, it was the original title. Then I guess they decided to um wow, so the director actually put the synopsis up on IMDb and says the actual Lady Island is located in Monroe, Michigan, has been the location of horrible tragedies for many years. As Detective Michael James is in the race to solve why these things keep happening after one of his own family members were attacked on the island. As he digs deep investigating, he finds out that these tragedies, this curse, have been going on for hundreds of years, which motivates him to try to put an end to the curse before someone else dies. So it's interesting that they had the girlfriend of the guy
Hmm.
be the niece of the guy who started part of it or whatever,
Hmm.
big problem of it. And then the other guy's uncle, I guess, or I think it was uncle, was the one who, I guess for some reason or another, he's dead and stuff, and he's now living. Which once again doesn't make any sense because she's like,
Yeah.
"Come back to me, baby. We love each other. Oh my God, it's you. Oh my God, I've been searching my whole life for you. What? How do you have? How is that your nephew? What is going on here? Like that doesn't make any sense. Like
Yeah.
I get what you're trying to do, trying to make something cool, like the end of Sixth Sense when you find out, spoiler alert, that that Bruce Willis has been dead the whole time. You didn't know
Yeah.
that. You didn't pick it up on it because he did it well enough where you're just like, why does this guy keep getting ignored? You know?
Yeah.
Poor guy.
It's about as bad as the other one he did, M. Night Shyamalan. What was that? The one where they're in the woods,
The Village?
the village. I got so mad once they revealed what was going on at the end. That's how I felt with this one.
Oh man, it
I was
doesn't even
like, what?
the worst offender is the happening.
Oh, I never saw that.
Oh, it is so beyond bad. Even the acting cries
Oh,
out bad at times, except for my buddy Roberto Lombardi, who's in the movie, does a wonderful job. I
nice.
will say that. But aside from that, Mark Wahlberg even does a terrible job at times. Like, and then the rest of the time, I mean, it's Mark Wahlberg. But
Yes.
sometimes he just delivers lines just like it's so fucking weird. And it starts out great. Like, it starts out pretty awesome, and then all of a sudden, when you find out what the twist is and stuff, you're just like, you know, um, M Night needs to just make a normal try to. I think I've heard Knock at the Cabin was pretty good though, so kind of
I
want to see that.
saw that, but I don't remember what happened. I mean,
Yeah,
I think it was a ghost. I'm not sure that
uh,
they were trying to make it seem like.
I
But
don't know. I haven't seen it, so
yeah.
I can't say anything. I just
Yeah.
know about it. But
I think
anyway,
I saw. Yeah.
what is it? Yeah. So it was interesting, you know. Uh,
Yeah.
I'm glad I watched this movie, just to say I've seen it and whatnot. And yeah, if you're bored on a rainy day, or something, rainy night, you got nothing else to do, and you want to turn on TV and watch Werewolf Island, I'd recommend it as that. But
Hmm.
if you're expecting to go in and like understand what the fuck people are doing and saying, and everything like that, you're not going to. It's
No.
There's going to be a lot of things that are going to confuse you and make you probably mad. And
Yeah.
but I'm happy that this guy made this film, that it's out and available, and I really hope he makes his next film. Um,
Yeah.
Whether it's a horror film or not, doesn't matter. Horror films are just easier to make and whatnot. Um, People say that the reason a lot of indie filmmakers make horror films is because you don't need megastars to sell it.
Hmm.
You can have megastars and that's fine, or at least the B movie stars in that world. But in comedy, you need like a star, in order
Yeah.
to just a comedy.
Yeah.
People are just like, oh, people dying in a horror film? I don't care who that is. You know?
Yeah. And sometimes you get to see new actors that you end up loving.
Oh, you can find new actors. And I love that too. I love finding new actors and then
Yeah.
the actors I'll add on them on Facebook and stuff,
Hmm.
and everything. But
Like through horror movies is how I learned who what Chris Hemsworth. I had never seen him in anything because I wasn't really big into Marvel stuff, and this may have come out after or before, I don't know. But Cabin in the Woods,
mm, that's a
he did
classic.
such a great part.
That's a
And then I
classic.
saw him in a couple of other movies that were horror, I think.
Nice. I like
Yeah,
Cabin in the Woods. It's really good.
I loved it.
I highly recommend that one. But I yeah, I love I love indie horror, but and I love movies that they just try to make something but this just it just fell flat for me, and I feel like it should have been better. But
Yeah.
I mean, me personally, I would give it a thumbs down if it were like, you know, um Siskel and Ebert style. But
Hmm.
eh, you know, I would still tell people to check it out because I always tell everybody to check out all because I may say these things and then you may disagree and say, "Oh my God, I loved it. I thought I understood every single nuance of this film. It was, blah blah blah."
Yeah.
And good for you. I didn't. Apparently, you didn't either. So I don't feel too bad saying that. So.
Mm-mm.
All right, everybody. Join me tomorrow. I'll have a brand new guest and I'll have a brand new movie to review. I haven't recorded it yet, so I have no idea what it is. So we'll have fun with that. But until then, everybody, hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you, Anna,
Thank
for
you.
coming on. And everybody, hope you guys enjoyed it. And join me tomorrow. Bye.